Welcome back to Colonel Samuel Smith Park in Greater Toronto, Ontario for Day 2 of the AFL Canada Men's Club Championship. I'm David Smith here on a Sunday, and joining me today is the voice of the Cape Breton Eagles, the voice of East Coast Pro Wrestling, and my partner in crime with announcing with AFL Canada, better late than never, Patrick McNeil. Welcome to Toronto.
Thank you, David. Couldn't get a better introduction or a better broadcast partner for that matter, and it looks like we got a cracker of a day here. A little bit dewy today, as you were saying yesterday was as well, but it's a little bit warm, and it's only about to get warmer, and that's just on the sidelines, not to say for the action on the field that's about to get underway right now.
Absolutely. We had a 27-degree day yesterday, expecting to have it today. Today, this first game, the Eagles and the Gargoyles.
Yeah, Eagles in blue, Gargoyles in red, or maybe a bit of a wine color, I guess we can say.
We called it maroon yesterday.
Fair enough. That works for me. As the Gargoyles in possession, will battle in contest right now. Game goes to the ground for the first time early on as umpire letting the players sort it out, so to speak. Like it looks like we're going to get our first or our second ball up, I suppose we should say. I don't know if they'll be doing much bouncing. Obviously, they wouldn't do a bounce there anyway, but even the opening bounce might be a bit tricky given the weather here in Greater Toronto. As ball on the ground, Eagles in possession, but only briefly. Could be tough to establish any sort of ground game given the weather, I guess. As kicked through the corridor of the middle. Mark not quite complete. As kicked towards the forward 50. Ball on the ground. Perhaps first scoring opportunity of the game. As that was a Toronto Eagles player taken down there. It was Kevin Manacker, who I believe plays for Ottawa. As ball on the ground as Gargoyles take possession. Again, Gargoyles in red, Eagles in blue. These are two AFL Ontario teams going at it here in the game's first day. As Eagles in the forward 50, there's a kick for goal. And looks like that's going to be offline. No, the goal umpire says behind. It looks like that's our first score of the game. It's a one-pointer for the Eagles as they take the early lead.
First game of the day here today, a Pool B matchup between the Toronto Eagles and the Grand River Gargoyles.
Correction, my eyes are in morning form, David. It looks like that was a major score to start us off.
First goal of the game then. Between these two teams, they're both 0-2, so looking to get into the fifth place matchup. And the Eagles score first. They draw first blood here on Sunday. Early morning here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park near the campus of Humber College.
Gargoyles off the bounce. Eagles take possession. Ball kicked towards the corridor as Gargoyles take possession here as we get a whistle. And that will lead to a free for the Toronto Eagles. As Baptiste Pinthon taking the ball. It's kicked forward. That's going to be marked. Play on. Kick down the left line. And nice kick there, and that's going to be an opportunity, it looks like.
Nice lead there by Mason Wilson. Not the easiest of angles here. Looks like he's looking to kick it between the big sticks. Eagles looking for two quick ones to start this matchup.
Yeah, Eagles would have been the favored team based on the performance in AFL Ontario. Here's an opportunity for Wilson to add to that Toronto Eagles lead. Kick looks good, and then it's going to go just offline. That will be a behind for the Eagles. That'll bring their lead to 7-0 here in the early going first game. And as David said, these teams are battling to jump into the fifth place game. The loser will find themselves in the seventh place game.
Yeah, the Eagles lost 31-5 in the first game yesterday. So the Eagles been having been the early risers in this tournament. And then lost 54-8 to the Atlantic Pirates, who have made some statements here in this tournament. We'll talk more about them later on today.
Yeah, ball kicked down the line, but it's intercepted as that looked like a potential for Grand River to get the ball moving as Wilson had the ball. Of course, he just had an opportunity to kick for goal. Gargoyles in possession now, moving towards our broadcast location, as we said, just on the border, I guess we can say, of the campus of Humber College here in Greater Toronto. And Etobicoke, and ball will come out. I think we're going to get a throw in here.
Yeah, not on the campus of Humber College. I only learned that yesterday.
That's right. It's on the border.
We went through a whole international tournament saying it was on the campus of Humber College. So
much free publicity that people are getting from us. As Eagles in possession towards the forward 50. As Nicholas Delahy had the ball there briefly. Of course, we're near the airport, so you're going to see some planes floating around in the sky. Welcome, everybody that's tuned in. Happy to have you here. Great day in Toronto for some footy. Kick towards forward 50 for the Eagles, and it looks like that's going to be cleanly marked. Scoring opportunity here. Couldn't quite see who had that mark, but this is definitely within kicking range, I would think. Perhaps a chance for the Eagles to add to their lead. Short kick, looking like he was trying to kick the mark, didn't go. It plays on, and that's going to be another major score, another goal, and the Eagles, David, are off to the start they wanted today.
Boy, this is a quick start for the Eagles. 13 points and 2 goals and 1 behind. Gargoyles looking a little bit shell-shocked here early in a Sunday morning. Maybe they're not morning people, but right now we'll see if they can get back into this one.
Well, my sympathies with the Gargoyles. I can certainly relate to that. And we should note, too, in addition, that this is obviously the first time we've had the chance to do this major tournament for clubs across Canada, but this also marks the end of the season. So regardless of what position these teams are playing for, they want to go out with a bang because it's the last meaningful games they'll play all year.
Absolutely, and if anybody's watching in the Greater Toronto area, come down, see some great footy. As I said yesterday, I don't believe there's any important sporting events happening in the city. So
absolutely none.
No. Regardless, it's a lot cheaper to come here than the Rogers Center. So anyway, Gargoyles get possession. That handball goes a bit awry. Down the wing, kick down the line. That's a nice mark there.
Yeah, beautiful mark, as that was a Vincent Liu getting the mark, and beautiful signature as well on our game sheet. Kick to the forward 50. Ball on the right side of the field, and that is just going to dribble out there as it was actually Michael Alexiou that was trying to get to that. Michael Alexiou, perhaps the most inspiring story in this tournament, a cancer survivor. His family raises money for the hospital. 39 years old, he's out there playing footy. It's great to see that.
Absolutely. I don't think there's anybody that has been touched by that disease. So great work by his family, and great that he was able to beat it. So Gargoyles trying to get some possession, trying to get some more towards the forward line here. Ball's just bouncing towards all kinds of players. It's on the ground, off hands, finally picked up by Trembath, but that goes to the Eagles' defense, and it's kicked wide. It's coming towards the line. Picked up, though, by the Eagles. That is Coventry. Kicks towards their forward 50. And with that tackle, that will be a holding the ball call and a free kick for the Eagles. Plays on quickly and not marked right in front of the goal square, but the Gargoyles are able to defend, and they get a mark out there. Hunter Murray now has the ball.
Yeah, and as you said, Dave, we were talking about the weather. I think that's making the conditions along the ground a little bit tough. Another nice kick there to Tim Trembath. Now we're finally starting to see a little bit of link up here from the Gargoyles that we hadn't seen. And there you go, a couple of nice kicks in succession moving down the wing. Nice handball option executed there. Try to hit a man on the run. Not a bad play, but ball might be turned over. Now we've got another contest on the ground. Man taken to the ground, as that was Jeremy Schwartzentruber.
Schwartzentruber, yeah. He's had the same issues early yesterday where the dew, it just makes the ball really wet, makes it tough to handle, makes it a bit heavier. So it makes for a little bit of a messier game. It will burn off as the day goes on, but these early games will be a bit difficult conditions-wise. Beautiful sunny day, not a cloud in the sky, but it's almost like it's been raining for 2 hours the way the ground is right now.
Yeah, and David and I kind of forgot what rain looked like based on the summer that we've had back in Atlantic Canada, but the ball will be given to Gargoyles at midfield. Switch towards the right side, and that's kicked to a mark to Tim Trembath, who's had the ball a couple of times here in the early going. Ball kicked along the right side, intercept mark, and of course, if you're new to Aussie rules, the kick has to be 15 meters. You saw earlier the Eagles had an intercept that wasn't paid because the kick wasn't long enough to be paid as a mark. Kick towards the middle of the field. That is going to be hauled in there by Sean Kennedy. He's going to take his time, then kicks it through the corridor. Ball bouncing along the ground, so that's free for whoever wants it. Again, tough to pick up the ball in these types of conditions. As look like Jeffrey Coventry, who generally plays for the Ottawa Swans, plays a little bit of football and his coach's football as well. He's taken down and looks like I think we're going to get a ball up. Don't think there was any prior there. Ball in the middle of the ground as Gargoyles take possession. Comes now to... I see the player there is Tim Trembath again. He's everywhere around the ball, it seems, as we have a ball up as number one on number one there. Ball comes up again. Ball up will come to the Gargoyles as goes on the ground. comes out to Hunter Murray. Again, we've called his name a few times here. Moves along the left side. Ball will come up. Bouncing along the ground. It's going to come along the ground as in dispute again. And ball on the opposite side as Gargoyles try to move it towards the forward 50. They had a little bit more possession in that time, in that part of the field the last few minutes. Kind of trying to overcome that rough start. Contest along the ground, and the referee's whistle goes. The umpire's whistle goes.
Certainly good for the Gargoyles to get some possession. Now they're going to have to get something on the scoreboard. We're approaching 9 minutes gone here in this first half. As we saw yesterday, that clock runs quickly. These are two 20-minute halves, so you fall behind in a game, and it can be tough to come back just because you don't have a lot of time to get points to recover a margin. So here comes the Eagles again. Nice handball down the wing, kick to the pocket, and there's a nice mark. Eagles looking good here. Tries to center it, and they do. So that's a nice passage of play, and this will be number 11, Sean Fahey.
Yeah, I got to back up and take his time with this one as the Eagles are going to try to add to that 13-0 lead here. And David said, too, two 20-minute halves here as Fahey backs up his kick. Goes up, and that looks pretty good from my eyes. And it is a major score goal for the Eagles. That'll change us to 3-1-19. No score for Grand River. And David had mentioned, too, the two 20-minute halves. Obviously, these teams, the Ontario teams, used to playing in the AFL Ontario competition with the 4 quarters, but because of the condensed schedule, trying to get everybody as many games as possible, they're just playing the 2 halves. So perhaps teams needing a little bit more urgency than they might be used to with the shorter games.
Yeah, 4 games this weekend, 3 in the pool play, and then 1 final each for each of the teams in the tournament. So lots of footy being played, and we'll see if fitness is a factor here today for some of the teams.
Yeah, could be a factor as it goes on. Ball up following that last Eagles goal. The Eagles with a 19-0 lead. Again, Eagles in blue, Gargoyles in red or wine or maroon, whatever you want to call it. Nice clear color contrast regardless. The ball goes to the ground. Eagles in possession. And again, you're seeing it tough to move it by hand given the conditions. It is sunny out, but the effects of the rain the last couple of days at wearing is a nice mark there by Sean Kennedy of the Eagles. He's going to back the ball up.
Not actually rain, just dew, Patrick. It reacts like rain, but there has been no rain. It's just a dew here early in the morning.
Well, nobody called me a meteorologist.
Eagles pressuring again here in their forward 50. Ball just rolling around in the wet grass. Gargoyles defense holding, but you can see it's tough to grab the ball sometimes, and that's again the conditions. But they do get a free kick here, and they're going to get a get out of jail free card. But that's not a great kick, so Gargoyles little bit of a problem there. Now the Eagles have it again, and they're pressuring again.
Yeah, Eagles on the attack going forward. 50 long kick from outside the 50-meter arc. Thought he might even try to kick to mark. Contest still on the ground. Oh, and that's not going to be the bounce that the Gargoyles were looking for. Eagles remain on the attack out in front of the goal square. And not really enough space to create any sort of kick there. As that was Toronto Eagles player Brad Harding. He couldn't get any separation between he and his opponent. Get a ball up out in front in the forward 50 for the Eagles. As driving it forward, here's a kick to goal. Or not sure what the intention there was for Mason Wilson, but the ball ends up going out. So Eagles, though, still with the 3-1-19-0 lead.
Tribal Sport, official partner of the 2025 Men's Club Championships. With more than 20 years of experience and a deep understanding of the international footy market, Tribal Sport is your source for high-quality on- and off-field apparel. Visit tribalsport.com.au to order your club's merchandise today.
Looks like that may have hit the post, so that's just going to be a single point for the Eagles. So move that 3-2-20, no score for the Gargoyles. Following the behind kick out, James Bradner makes the mark for the Gargoyles. Ball on the left side of the field. Now Eagles in possession again. I guess we can call it the right side of the field. Now it is the Eagles in possession. Ball kicked towards the forward 50. Hands are up. No clear mark there, so Gargoyles will take it. Looking for a handball option. Didn't have it. He's going to go Roman. He's going to have to get rid of it at some point, and ball comes bouncing along the ground, and that's pretty much free reign. Nobody really there to pick it up, and it is going to be Eagle possession here. Brad Harding has it. Moves it forward, intercepted. Ball on the ground again. Jack McVeigh, number 10 for the Eagles, was briefly in the contest there. We'll come back to the Gargoyles. Short kick, don't know if that'd be 15. Doesn't matter. It's not caught anyway. Ball still bouncing around the middle of the field. Again, dewy conditions. We can say that over and over again. Ball on the ground. Gargoyles player is going to be taken down. Don't think there was any prior there, so it's going to be a ball up.
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of balls that would normally be caught, but the ball just has a different feel and really has an effect, as it did yesterday as well. So Gargoyles get a free kick here. Jeremy Schwartzentruber, one of the two Schwarzentrubers in this game for them. I think I just like saying the name Schwartzentruber.
Great name.
The Eagles now do have possession, though. There's a mark on the wing. Lots of space here. Little kick. Looks pretty good. Not marked, though. And that will be Tim Trembath, who picks it up for the Gargoyles. Just kicks it to the wing. Kicked forward by the Gargoyles. That's Alexiou. Now picked up by Lewinstra. But the Eagles defense holding. Here is John O'Connor. That mark isn't taken. Now big battle. There's a hold, and that will be a Gargoyles free kick. So this is Robert Warburton from Brampton, Ontario with the ball. Fakes the handball, but he's taking his time. Just 5 minutes left here in the first half. Again, 2 20-minute halves in these games, and that includes the finals games. It's not just the pool games, so really quick games, and you don't want to get too far behind because it's a long way coming back in a short period of time.
Yeah, no doubt about that. The Eagles in possession here as take it down. There was Brad Harding. He's had a little bit of the ball, so it's going to be a free kick here for Tyler Schwartzentruber. Try to distinguish between the two Schwarzentrubers. As David said, that's a great name. They like having us say that one. Alexia uses the handball option down the right side. Angle kick, looking for a mark in front of the posts. And batted away there by the Eagles player. There's a kick for goal. Ball on the ground again. Seeing a lot of the contest there as the Eagles watches the Gargoyles have it in their forward 50, which we haven't seen a lot of here. And again, sometimes finding the footing can be difficult. Ball on the ground, and that's going to be the first goal for the Gargoyles. And I think that may have been Tyler Parsons kicking that one through. The Gargoyles, though, on the board with a major score for them. They get their first goal of the game, so 20-6 for the Eagles now, and that's a big one for Grand River.
Kicks it off the grass. That was what the doctor was ordering for the Gargoyles. They certainly needed a score here in the first half to get it closer, so they're excited about that. Good first goal here for the Gargoyles. First goal of the tournament, I believe, for the Gargoyles. So certainly good for them. And 26 lead, 3 goals, 2 behinds, 20 points for the Gargoyles, 1 goal. For the Eagles, 1 goal for the Gargoyles.
Ball goes back to center. See, about 3.5 left in the half. Of course, that is unofficial time. I'm sure David told you during that broadcast yesterday, but their staff here is pretty good, so it's pretty close. Ball up there in the middle of the ground. Again, Eagles with the early lead, but still certainly game in the balance for anybody here as we're still in the first half here. Ball being kicked along the ground. And nice skills there by the player Baptiste Pinthon.
It could be 50, and it is. Holding the ball, called, kicked it away, so that's going to be 50 for the Gargoyles. They're going to have an opportunity here to kick at goal. Just want to talk a little bit. We talked about what the Eagles did so far in this tournament. Grand River lost to the Atlantic Pirates 35-0 in their first game yesterday, and then had a 60-1 defeat against the Toronto Dingoes in their second game. So they're looking to get their first win. They do have their first goal of the tournament and are looking for their second here. Eagles defense, though, holding well. That's kicked out, but a mark by the Gargoyles, and they'll be back in going into their forward 50 again.
Yeah, it's James Bradner with the mark, and he kicks, centers the ball, so to speak. Perhaps a bit of a better angle for Jeremy Schwartzentruber. Looks like he's outside the 50, but he might kick for a mark here. That looks like exactly what he's going to do, and almost executed. Again, a reminder, it's going to be tougher for the players to mark the ball just because it is so wet. As Eagles on the defensive side of the ball, trying to prevent another Gargoyle score. And ball to the ground, kicked away by the Eagles player. And it will be Toronto possession, ball kicked towards the middle of the field. Looks like that's Coventry that's after it. Kicks it off the ground. Got a pretty good distance on that kick going for Yarcia. Yarcia has the ball. Touches a little nifty touch of the ground. Finds a handball option behind. Was looking for Coventry, but good pressure there by Tyler Schwarzentrooper to get that back. Ball kicked along the left side of the field. And goes bouncing along the ground again. Seeing a lot of that this morning. As towards the forward 50 go the Gargoyles.
That's holding the ball. So that'll be a free kick to the Eagles.
Waiting to see if we could actually hear the umpire on the pretty good enunciation over here.
Plays on quickly. We're approaching the last minute here in the first half. And there's the siren again. Our clock is unofficial, so that ends the first half. The Toronto Eagles with 3 goals, 2 behinds, 20 points to the Grand River Gargoyles. 1 goal, 6 points, a 14-point lead for the Eagles. We're going to take a break here at the 2025 AFL Canada Men's Club Championships. We'll be back in approximately 3 minutes and 53 seconds. See you then.
Play for fun. Play for fitness. Play for glory. Play for community. Play for club. Play for country. Play for each other. Play because you love playing. Play footy. Visit AFLCanada.com and find a club near you today.
Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on, link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
Welcome back to Colonel Samuel Smith Park in Greater Toronto, Ontario, just off the campus of Humber College, for day 2 of the 2025 Men's Club Championship. And we're in the first game of the day between the Grand River Gargoyles and the Toronto Eagles. The Eagles certainly having their way for most of the first half, and they lead 20-6 on 3 goals and 2 behinds for the Eagles and 1 goal for the Gargoyles, who did have a bit more of the play in the second half of that half, Patrick, and we'll see if they can carry that over to the second half.
Yeah, still certainly time for them to do that. 14-point deficit, and as you said, they got better as the half went, and lots of time left. Still a game very much in the balance, so both of these teams battling to go to the 5th place game. Both of these teams 0-2, 2 AFL Ontario sides. The Gargoyles in the maroon and yellow, the Eagles in blue with a little bit of yellow as well. Nice day, and the temperature rising quickly, as we were mentioning off mic, David. We're getting into a bit of a heater here in the Greater Toronto area.
Yeah, and Grand River based out of Guelph, Ontario, so one of the non-Toronto teams in AFL Ontario. Toronto Eagles, obviously from Toronto. The Eagles are 6-3 in the regular season, 4th place in the 2025 AFL Ontario regular schedule. They did lose in the first round elimination final against the Ottawa Swans. The Gargoyles did not make finals in that league.
Ball up, and we are underway with the second half of play. Eagles in possession early. Handball, ball on the ground, out in front of our broadcast location. Good contest. It was whether, do you want the other man or do you want the ball? Ball kicked now towards the Gargoyles forward 50. Oh, and that's a nice intercept mark there. Not easy to handle the ball in these conditions. Ball kicked along the left side. Another mark, and it's been tough for teams to get those link-ups, consecutive marks. So there you see it for the Eagles. Ball on the left side. Oh, and again, tough to handle the ball, just given the conditions. Handball option executed, though, on the wing. And here the umpire whistle go. This looks like it's going to be a throw-in.
Oh, it's a free kick to the Gargoyles. Kick down the line. They're going to see if they can get a mark here. They don't. Retain possession, though. Kind of a handball to nothing. Tries to get his own handball. Doesn't work. Eagles now get possession again. Kick towards their forward 50. That's a nice kick. Can't take the mark, though. Gets the possession. Kicks towards the Eagles forward 50. Still can't get a mark, but they do get the territory. And that'll be a ball up in the... No, that's a free kick again to the Gargoyles.
Yeah, good opportunity for the Gargoyles. Get out of trouble, so to speak. Kick through the middle of the field. That's going to be marked nicely by James Brandner. He's had the ball a couple of times for the Gargoyles today. Brander, I should say. Ball kicked along the right side. Nice mark there. And looking for the handball option. He's going to elect to kick instead. I think that's Warburton for the Gargoyles. Ball on the ground. It's going to be intercepted. Eagles take possession. Ball kicked the other way. Up in the air it goes. Contest. Hands are up everywhere. Eagles again in blue. Gargoyles in red and yellow. As ball's up. Umpire whistle goes. And going to be given to the Eagles.
Eagles
around midfield.
Eagles going to try to get kick towards their forward 50. Going to be interesting to see the sun is relatively low in the sky, early morning. If it's going to be tough for the Eagles forwards in the second half to get marks, because that sun's going to be in their eyes. So going to be interesting to see if the forwards can work around that.
Yeah, I can certainly tell you that the sun is in our eyes over here, so I'm sure it's even more of a concern for the players. They're not under our nice little tent, as a ball will be thrown up. No prior there, as that was Mason Wilson that was tackled.
Certainly the excuse we're going to take if we get any names wrong, right?
Take any excuse you need all the time. And I think we might get another no prior. So game grinding to a standstill, at least at this exact moment in time. And the forward 50 of the Eagles. Ball punched along. Again, in dispute it is. Sean Fahey had it briefly there for the Eagles. Gargoyles take possession, as that's Tyler Parsons. Called his name a few times thus far this game. As no one really able to get any sort of separation, real pack around the ball, so to speak. As Eagles in the attacking end of the field. As ball goes the other way, Gargoyles trying to clear it out of trouble, so to speak. Ball going bouncing along. Will stay in play for now. On the ground, Eagles take possession. And I think that was John O'Connor that was trying to mark it. But again, tricky to hold the ball in these conditions. He'll wire it with the boot, and that's going to be intercepted. That will be a Gargoyle mark. Intercept. Ball kicked along the right side. And not quite a clean intercept there, so the ball goes to ground. Again, seeing a lot of that thus far this afternoon, this morning. Boy, getting ahead of ourselves here. Ball kicked into the forward 50 of the Eagles, bouncing along the grounds. Looks like that's Coventry that's after it. And ball will end up squirting out of play. And boundary throw.
Boundary throw in, yeah, in the pocket. Off hands there. Gargoyles do get possession. That's a sky-high kick. It's going to be tough to mark, and it's not, but Gargoyles briefly had possession. They have it again. Really haven't had any territory in their forward 50 here in the second half. It's been all the Eagles, though a lot of play between the arcs here in the second half. As we're approaching 5 minutes into this second half, there's a kick into the forward 50 for the Eagles. That's off a hand. The ball rolls towards the boundary. It goes over the boundary, and that will be a boundary throw in.
Yeah, it was either Tyler Schwarzengerber or Gordon Geerlings, I think, that got the fist on it. So
Payable App's official streaming partner of the 2025 Men's Club Championship. Simplify all the effort involved with accepting, collecting, and reporting electronic payments with Payable Apps. Visit payableapps.com to automate your payments today.
Opportunity here for the Eagles in the forward 50. Ball on the ground as Coventry fists it back. As contest here in the Eagles forward 50. Ball will go bouncing around. Ball is just taking on a life of its own today. Kick for goal there, as that was Pinthon kicking it forward. Ball will just dribble its way out.
Dribble through for the behind, so that's a behind for the Eagles. Gargoyles now will try to clear. It's been in their defensive part of the field for quite a while now. Again, the Gargoyles finished last in AFL Ontario's season, so it's not entirely surprising. There's Capaferi with a nice mark. He gets a kick and a mark to Coventry. Coventry, who we know from being on the Northwind, is on the Montreal Alouettes practice squad for a time. So you know he's a good athlete, has a good boot on him, so we'll see if he can get the distance here. Ball will be a bit heavy, will be a bit more difficult. That looks really good, though, and it looks good. The umpire says it looks good, and that's a goal for the Eagles.
Yeah, beautiful kick there for Jeff Coventry. You mentioned his football background, coaches football as well. That's just some good movement there from the Eagles, and that's a score that's going to hit the heart of the Gargoyles for sure. As that moves it to 4-3, 27 to 106. And the Eagles have just come out flying, as Eagles do, to start this second half, and that's a big score in the grand scheme of this game, you'd have to think. And just good job moving the ball forward and good use of options there, finding Coventry, and just a beautiful kick to sail that one through.
I also want to shout out Hemingway's Restaurant and Bar, official after-party partner of the 2025 Men's Club Championships. Famous for the rooftop patio right in the heart of Yorkville, Hemingway's Restaurant and Bar offers delicious pub food, events, and international sports. Visit hemingways.to to book your reservation today.
Already thinking about what I'm going to order there later tonight. As the Gargoyles, again, in red, Eagles in blue. This is the first game of the day. Boy, we do have a full day of games, every team playing twice. Exciting women's action coming up as well. As ball on the ground, Eagles in possession, looking for a handball option, goes out the back. And again, couldn't get a clear read on that kick. But Eagles doing a good job of establishing territorial dominance. I guess you could say Coventry's after the ball again after he kicked that most recent goal. Ball kicked down the line. I think that was Schwarzentroober, one of the Schwarzentroopers, Tyler to be specific. As ball intercept marked by the Eagles. Kick back towards the forward 54 Toronto. Hands were up as that was Fahey trying to mark the ball. Couldn't do so, but Eagles get it back. Ball comes back. I think that's Wilson will kick it deeper into the forward 50 out in front of the goal square. Potential opportunity here for the Eagles as Manacker was after it. Gargoyles take possession. Ball kicked down towards the right side of the field. And again, you're seeing difficulty marking the wet ball. Brandner has it for the Gargoyles. Eagles take possession. Handball out the back again. A little soul candy there. On the run it goes. Short kick for Mark. I don't know if that would have been the 15, but it's intercepted anyway by the Grand River player.
Robert Warburton.
There you go.
Warburton. Kick right up the guts. Too far, though it does end up in Gargoyle hands. That handball, though, not great. Eagles now retain possession. A little bit of a squib kick there. Can the Gargoyles pick it up? They do. In the shade on that side of the field. There will be not much shade later today. Gargoyles streaming forward. Kick to the pocket. And what looks like to be the fog from here, there's a battle for the ball. It is tough to see that pocket from this broadcast position. These two teams very familiar with this ground. Of course, the Gargoyles did not make finals. The Eagles did. During finals, Andrew McGraw, Essendon Bomber, visited. First-round pick, still with the Bombers from nearby Mississauga, Ontario. A place I hear has a lot of must-see attractions and world-class restaurants, Patrick. I've been told this.
I have heard this as well. We do have a Gargoyles score, it looks like, and that is going to be a behind. So Grand River getting a much-needed point, although not the one that they're looking for. Eagles kick comes to Luis Gonzalez. Kicks it along the right side. That's marked nicely by Mason Wilson. Eagles have done a decent job moving the ball along the right side. Another kick to mark to Coventry, and there you go. That's some good sustained possession there by the Toronto Eagles, moving it up that right side of the field. And, oh, beautiful smother there by Kyle Mundell, the former president of AFL Canada, making an impact on and off the field. And that is going to be a free kick for Hunter Murray of the Gargoyles.
Yeah, before that smother, I liked what the Eagles were doing. A lot of short kicks, which is good in these sorts of conditions. Enough to get the mark, but you're not kicking them 30 meters down, which makes it difficult to mark. So here he is again, though he doesn't mark this. Eagles do have possession if they can pick it up. Was that a bump? It wasn't. Was deemed okay by the umpire. Gargoyles now have it. Mundell, that handball not great. Eagles now handball it just on their forward 50 line, and the whistle goes. And that is holding the ball, and the Grand River Gargoyles get possession. Oh, there's a nice interception. He can pick it. That's number 27, John O'Connor. Kicks it to the pocket. Going after it is Garcia. Tries to kick it, but can't get a boot on it, and that's over the boundary line. Will be a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, that's a great pressure there by John Lively. Was all over Garcia there, and that's the compete that the Gargoyles need here if they're going to try to claw back into this game as they trail 27-7 here in their first game of 8 men's games. Have women's action as well. Going to be a great day here on the border of the Humber College, we can say, in Greater Toronto. As in the Eagles forward 50, it's going to be kicked out by the Gargoyles, kicked to a contest, intercept mark. It's going to be hauled in by John O'Connor. Say his name, and he appears again. Kick towards Coventry. Coventry will pick it up. Coventry did mark that, but it doesn't matter. He's just going to play right on. Kicks for goal. And that is going to end up, I think that hit the post, I think. We'll wait for the official decision. And that
it was definitely left, and it's definitely a behind. So another behind for the Eagles. There's some really good pressure right now. And they again have a mark here with John O'Connor, who's been a bit of a vacuum to the ball right now. See what he can do with it. Little short kick, and that's a good kick. Nice lead. Smart play here by the Eagles. And I would take time. The clock is their friend. Mason Wilson, I think, been one of their best players this whole tournament. Looks like he's looking towards the big sticks here. About a 45-degree angle. I would say about 30 meters out. Maybe 35. That kick looks right, and it stays right. And that will be a behind for the Eagles.
Oh, yes, when David was saying right, he meant the direction right, not as in the correct right. But they will take the minor score, the 1 point behind. So the Eagles in control, just good ball movement from Toronto in this second half. Kick out following the behind as it's kicked along the boundary. Ball's up in the air. It goes off the hands there of Jeremy Schwarzentrooper, and the ball goes out, so that will be a boundary throw in.
Gargoyles defense looking a little bit fatigued here. They're really not a lot of energy showing right now, and that was just a dropped ball by the Gargoyles, but they do get a ball up here. The fence is holding, but as I say, the energy level doesn't look great for them. They've had to defend a lot in this half. See if they can. Schwarzentrooper can't get a hand on it. Eagles now have it. Kicked by number 4, Luis Gonzalez. Picked up by the Gargoyles. That's smothered. And I believe that will be high contact, perhaps. Yeah, there'll be a free kick to the Eagles. So this will be another chance at goal for the Toronto Eagles, already with a 22-point lead.
And as David said, just defending can be exhausting. So if the ball is in the wrong end of the field for your team, that can be stressing on defenders. And I think we're starting to see that here as Hugh Garcia has an opportunity to kick this through. See if he can add to this Eagles lead. Looks like a good angle. He'll boot it through. Looks not bad. Kicks to a contest. Eagles will have possession here. As looks like that was Manacker with it. Kick to goal, and that is going to go right through. It looked like the goal umpire was right there to catch it. That's a goal for the Toronto Eagles, and the Eagles continue to march on here against the Gargoyles, building up a healthy lead in the second half. And I'm really impressed with how the Eagles have come out in the second half, David. They just moved the ball extremely well.
Absolutely smart plays, not kicking it too far, gaining possession, getting it in their end of the field, they have the chances at goal, and eventually you pound a defense too many times, eventually they'll bend and eventually they'll break, and that's what happened there. So Eagles, 5 goals, 5 behind, 35 points to the Gargoyles, 1 goal, 1 behind, 7 points.
Follow-up following the Eagles' goal, and the Eagles take possession again, albeit briefly. Gargoyles with it now as it comes to Trembath, kicking through the corridor. We haven't seen them been able to set up those short kicks that Dave was talking about that the Eagles have done so well in the second half. Handball option executed as well. That's also never a bad play. Well, maybe a bit trickier in the conditions. As ball goes to ground, and umpire will come to claim the ball. This is actually going to be a free kick to the Eagles. Backing it up a little bit as Toronto with the lead, 35-7. Ball kicked along the left side of the field. That is going to be intercepted, so that's a Grand River mark. Kick up to John Lively. Lively, another kick to the right side. Target wasn't as intended, and ball will be picked up there by Hunter Murray. Murray had it briefly, lost it. Eagles back in possession, kicked along the left side of the field. As the ball kind of yo-yoing from team to team here. Lively has it again, kicking up. And that is going to be intercepted. That will be an Eagle intercept mark. And ball goes the other way as quickly as it came. That's going to be marked by Gonzalez. Handball option executed there for the Eagles, and they're on the attack again. Ball goes bouncing into the Toronto forward 50. As contest along the ground. Gearlinks was involved there for Grand River. There's going to be a kick to goal, and that was Kevin Manacker booting it forward.
And that's another one for the Eagles. Kicked right through the middle. Eagles with 6 goals, 5 behinds, 41 points to the Gargoyles. 1 goal, 1 behind, 7. Just about 3 minutes left. Again, our clock is unofficial to note. So, just a note coming up next will be the 2-0 Calgary Kangaroos against the 0-2 Hamilton Wildcats in a Pool A matchup. This is an important one. Calgary can punch their ticket to the big match in this game, in this tournament, the grand final, with a win. So that's a big one coming up next here in the 2025 AFL Canada Men's Club Championship.
Yeah, the Wildcats will be anxious to try to play spoiler there, though. It's, again, that's the last game before the playoff round, so to speak, so they're going to want to finish strong. Ball on the ground here. The umpire whistle go. Great job by our officiating crew here. Going to see a ball up.
Important to note that every team has a finals game. Will be those games will be starting at approximately 1:40 this afternoon. So the 2 fourth-place teams in each pool will play in the first finals game, and then it goes to third-place teams in each pool, the second-place teams in each pool, and then the first-place teams in each pool will be playing for the trophy, and it's a big one. I've seen it. It's a nice-looking trophy. So looking forward to those games this afternoon. Should be lots of competitive contests this afternoon.
No doubt about that. Garcia with a kick to Wilson, and again, you're really seeing those short, almost just enough to be 15 meters, and then Coventry gets his hands on the ball and just trying to well-place it. He gets an opportunity to kick from just outside 50, whether he can go for goal or whether he'll find a marking target there out in front of the posts.
It's often smart footy, but it's definitely smart footy in any kind of wet, dewy conditions. So kick away. Oh, it's a good-looking kick. Is it straight? Oh, it's dead straight. What a kick. What a goal. And there's another one for the Eagles.
Yeah, a veteran kick from a veteran player. Jeff Coventry gets nice height on it. Defender's not going to have a chance to spoil that. Nice and high through the post. And that is another goal for the Eagles, who've just been shot out of a cannon in this second half. Been very impressive to watch.
That ball looked like it was shot out of a cannon, to be honest. I can only kick a ball like that in my dreams, Patrick. So yeah, Eagles with 7 goals, 5 behind, 47 points. Gargoyles 1-1-7. Should be in the last minute here of this matchup. So the Eagles will get their first win of this tournament. Gargoyles will likely be going, certainly be going in that 7th place game. So we'll be looking for their first win in that first matchup of the finals this afternoon.
Yeah, of course, all these teams want to place as high as they can. So the winner of this game, which I think the decision desk is declaring the Eagles to be, will head on to the 5th place game, and the Gargoyles will go to the 7th place game. So it'll be an opportunity to play another game against a team you haven't played yet in this event. As ball in the Eagles' forward 15. Of course, depending on how the matchups go, could be a team you haven't played yet at all.
Well, it will be because they're playing the other pool. So
right, but in terms of if you're playing a team you haven't seen in your region, right?
Exactly. So that is the horn, and that is it. So as we expected, the Toronto Eagles win this one. 7 goals, 5 behinds, 47 points to the Gargoyles. 1 goal, 1 behind, 7 points. So that certainly will put the Gargoyles in that 7th place game. We will have to look and get out our abacus and whatnot to see. Still other games to play, of course. So we'll see where the Toronto Eagles fall in terms of which finals game they will be. But certainly happy to get their first win in this tournament. So your thoughts on the day of your first seeing in person of the tournament here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park.
On the campus of Humber College, or on the border of. Well, no, just great to be back on this ground again. And yeah, just the conditions challenging. I know we've been kind of harping upon that, but us commentators, we're going to look for that storyline and just kind of drill that into the ground. But the Toronto Eagles, certainly the story here in the early part of the game. I just loved the way they moved the ball. We talked about kind of those almost 20-meter marks, we'll call them, and just just kind of textbook footy, move it along the wing, then cut to the corner in the middle. Absolutely. Nice centering kicks for goal. Yeah, just a really strong second half in particular.
Absolutely. So the Toronto Eagles get the win. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back in approximately 7 minutes and 57 seconds. I think I added the fourth, so 7 minutes. It was a long day yesterday, Patrick. Anyway, we'll be back in a bit for the second game today of the 2025 AFL Canada Men's Club Championship. Hope you join us.